Stumps on day one of the second test between England and the West Indies. I'm back with George Dobell as per usual, my sidekick. Or actually, I think I'm probably more your sidekick, George. Well, let's talk about England because still only 3 wickets down, and they have to be happy with that, right, George?
Yeah, I thought they rebuilt really well. I thought that after a day that started with a lot of unnecessary drama, they had the perfect voice of calm in Dominic Sibley, and boy, is he calm. And although for much of the day he may have seemed becalmed, I thought that he proved his worth, and he's got England through the end of a day that could have been really difficult to negotiate. And they're in a pretty decent position, yeah.
We'll talk about Dom Sibley a bit more in a sec because, like you said, definitely calm, definitely never tries to do anything fancy. But in terms of the West Indies bowlers now, especially from what we saw in the first test and how explosive they can be on their day when they're ready, they're not bowling badly now, but the wickets still aren't really coming. They're not reaping those rewards either. So what do you put that down to?
I didn't think they started great. And I thought a couple of them looked quite stiff and sore. I mean, certainly Shannon Gabriel doesn't look 100%. I wasn't sure that Jason Hodder and Kemar Roach looked 100% for some of the day either. At the end there, they bowled terrifically well. But the fact is that the batsmen they're bowling against quite well set by that point. So I thought by the time they took 3 relatively early wickets, I didn't think the West Indies bowlers had settled either. And there was a lot of stiffness. But they tightened up and they were a bit unlucky. I mean, how Kemar Roach doesn't have a wicket in this series, I don't know. Maybe he bowls half a yard too short. Maybe he's lost half a yard of pace. But, you're right. He has been very unlucky, and he and Holder beat the bat quite often in the last period of the day. But, Shannon Gabriel wasn't anywhere near at his best, I don't think. And I actually think there is a bit of carry in this pitch. I know it maybe didn't look the quickest. It's not the quickest, but there's a bit more in it than there was at the Ageas in terms of pace and carry. And I think they'll feel a little bit disappointed with their day's work, to be honest.
I think so too. And I mean, there's been a bit of talk about obviously the new rules surrounding the ball and them not being able to use, saliva and whatnot. And considering the conditions, there's not enough sweat going around, especially for the West Indies players. And that only the bowler will get to, keep shining the ball and using that sweat. Do you feel like that has any part to play whatsoever, or just
not really? Not here, not with the Duke's ball. I don't, because actually there was quite a lot of swing. The ball moved all day. And so they did generate swing. And they didn't bowl badly, you're right, but I'm not sure they put the ball in the right place often enough to create pressure. You'd have to say that, a couple of chances went down too, didn't they? So you put those things together and, it's not an awful day for them by any means, but and let's give Sibley some more credit, and Stokes, of course. We know Stokes is a fine batsman, but Sibley is a tremendously patient, disciplined batsman, and he wore them down a bit. And, when you're in a test series with back-to-back matches, that's a fundamental, important part of the game.
Good old-fashioned test batsman in Dom Sibley that we're seeing, even though he is obviously so young. Ben Stokes at the crease with him, and we know exactly what he's capable of. Over 200 runs on the board for England now. So what will they be looking to do, or how much more will they be looking to put on, you think, George, to feel fully comfortable in this test?
Masses, bat and bat till tea. I wouldn't put necessarily a figure on it, but if you bat first on a pitch like this, and I think generally it's a pretty good test wicket, you want in excess of 400. Mm-hmm. And England do bat very, very deep. They've got Don Bess at 10, Stuart Broad with a test century at 11. So I think they'll be trying to put the West Indies bowlers under a lot of pressure, really wear them out. And that's, again, completely legitimate. And then maybe only insert them with an hour left in the go. I mean, personally, I'm a big believer in scoreboard pressure. And if you can keep the side out in the field for 5, 6, even 7 sessions, that's tough. I mean, it's really, really tough. So, I don't think they're anywhere near setting a competitive score yet, but they are on the road in the right direction. As I say, 400, I think, is probably minimum.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.